I remember being probably 4 or 5 and actually watching the reruns in the early 70s, and the first time I saw them I was a bit scared of them because it was just moving so quickly, but then something obviously just grabbed me and I liked the TV show more, and then I got more into the music, and I'm a Believer was my first record when I was about 10. I've just loved them ever since. And on vinyl I have got pretty much everything they've ever made. I've got lots of things that you'd expect from the shows, the programmes, tickets, and even some of the things like the travel cards to get to the shows. 97 tour, 2002 tour, then we're going to 2011 tour, 2012, 2013. This is the tour poster from the 2013 US tour, and I'm going to take this to the convention. I'm hoping to get Mike and Micky, and now that we know that Peter's going to be there for a short while, I'm really hoping to get all 3 of them to sign that. It does perhaps seem a bit extreme to friends and family, and they laugh that, oh gosh, you're going off to the States to see the Monkees. But for me, it doesn't seem extreme because I'll have a weekend with like-minded people. That fill of Monkees will keep me happy for years to come.
We only have a couple simple rules. Respect the hotel, its guests. Respect the band, the artists. And please, monkey around. Hey, we're the Monkees! We're the monkey around. We're too busy singing. We're running down. Who knows the monkey walk? You got any monkey walkers? I can't do it myself, people. I know how to do it.
My name is Randy Blackwell. I come from Endicott, New York, and I'm here at the 2014 Monkee Convention.
My name is Deborah Estes. I am from Clearwater, Florida.
My name is Andrea Dobbins. I'm from Coshocton, Ohio.
Michael Palucci from Beverly, Massachusetts.
My name's Kevin Marhanka. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Tammy LeBear, Corleen LeBear, she's my daughter. We're from Rochester, New York.
My name is Greg Janover. I'm from Staten Island, New York.
Sarah Clark. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
John Shelton. I'm from Mountain City, Tennessee.
Paul Venturi, Scranton, Pennsylvania. John Roginski, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Ryan Fenton, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Madman Mike, New York City.
I'm Fred Velez, super fan from way back from the early Monkee conventions.
My name is Eric Lefcowitz. I'm a Monkees historian.
My name is Bobby Hart, and I was one of the Monkees producers, actually the first.
My name is Dennis Patrick McDonough, MC Duno Ugg. I'm from the great Garden State of New Jersey, where we are right now. The town is Hillsborough. What else would you like to know?
48 years ago, Columbia Pictures had the seemingly high concept of swiping an idea from a big screen and adapting it to a small screen. The big screen success was A Hard Day's Night. The resulting small screen series was The Monkees. Following hundreds of editions, the producers finally settled on Micky Dolenz, Davy Jones, Michael Nesmith, and Peter Tork.
Who is my favorite Monkee?
It's like saying who's your favorite sibling.
Right now, it's Davy.
Davy. Davy.
Davy's the closest one to my heart.
Davy, because I model all my percussion after him. I've been a drummer since I was a kid, and watching the shows, I always thought Micky was the coolest.
Micky always is just good fun, and he comes across on screen, and I love his singing voice.
He's very versatile in his vocal ability. He's one of the best vocals in pop music.
Micky always made me laugh. I gotta go with Micky.
He's the same guy. He might have a few less brain cells, but don't we all?
My favorite Monkee is Peter by a hair.
Peter Tork. Not just because I probably resemble him more than any other.
Mike Nesmith is my favorite Monkee.
And I am the biggest Mike Nesmith fan there is.
I always fall for the tall, dark, and handsome type.
Mike's the man.
And it was the hat. Totally the hat.
Mike has always been a personal favorite of mine, but I hold them all equally.
I mean, I love them all. I love them all, and I love them all together. They are greater than the sum of their parts.
They're all awesome. If you said which one was the funniest, or which one was the most sensitive, or which one was the most insecure, something I could I could make that judgment, but I can't say which is the favorite.
You're so vastly different. You have Mike Nesmith, who's country. You have Davy Jones, who is a Broadway-esque star. You have Micky Dolenz, who's rock and roll, and Peter, who's folk. So you get a very big mixture of different kinds of media and different kind of background.
I was born actually the month the Monkees came out. I was born in May of 1966.
Loved them ever since I was a kid.
I grew up watching reruns in the 70s of the TV show.
Taping the shows on VHS tape as a kid, Nickelodeon. Me too. And like watching them over and over again. Then I'd buy the vinyl and wear the albums out.
When you're a kid, you think maybe these are really people called the Monkees, who live together in a house.
I was Davy at recess at school, 3 other friends. Somebody was Mike, somebody was Peter, somebody was Mickey, obviously. I had to be Davy.
That's always been the tripwire between the fantasy and reality, is that they kept their names. That was crucial.
My mom had been pestering me to watch this show that had been on when she was a kid called The Monkees. She thought I'd really like it.
The parents pass on their enthusiasm and loyalty to their kids.
Second generation fan, but from 75 on, syndication.
I just remember sitting on my grandmother's couch in Savannah, Georgia, watching the Saturday morning reruns, and been a fan ever since.
I saw them on a Disney special and I said, ooh, these guys are very entertaining. Found out it was a TV show and it opened a whole new world for me. It almost like I had no musical identity until I started becoming a Monkees fan.
You can watch an episode today and most of it is just as funny as it was 48 years ago.
There's a personal connection you feel towards them because they came into your living room and they played themselves to a certain degree.
And then when you start learning about their real history, I think it's the two of those stories tied together.
They're the only band who can say that they were put together by a company, so they formed and they gelled and they're awesome.
Monkey fans on the whole are very intelligent. I've found very intelligent, very nice people.
They're fans of our team. They are like, fans of the Knicks or fans of the Lakers or fans of the Dodgers or the Yankees or whatever. They have decided that this is their team.
The thing that appeals, it seems to me, about the fans that I know is that everybody's pretty much on the same page about the Monkees. They all have this moment, this gem that they polish off that has to do with this moment in childhood.
And the reason I do these things is to support the supporters.
How you doing? How are you? That's me. Yeah. I've been to many Monkees conventions. The last time I performed with my partner before his death was in Chicago in 1991, I think, something like that. Been in New Jersey before at a convention. And so those are always fun, meeting fans and saying hello.
Do I think I'm odd? I wouldn't say odd, but I have my own uniqueness.
When I was younger, they always said that I was unusual. It's like, wow, you like the Monkees? Aren't they old? And it's like, no, I mean, they're still performing.
You see them on stage, and actually the age doesn't matter. You wouldn't think that was a bunch of guys in their, well, now late 60s, 70s.
I get some razzing at times for being a huge Monkees fan that I am, and I actually, it makes me laugh because it makes me unique, so I like it.
If they're a joke, they're the greatest joke ever perpetrated on mankind, and I'm glad I get the joke.
I've met some strange Monkees fans. Yes, I have.
I had some people, come and break into my house, not in a nefarious sort of way, but just for fun and to see where I lived.
I've seen some people that I wonder if maybe, they've been outside since 1967.
I was on the very first Monkee tour and watching as we all did, as the Monkees themselves and the promoters saw what a phenomenon it had become. Monkey mania, if you will. And it was quite astounding. It was just pandemonium from the moment they were announced till the show was over. You heard nothing but screams. You could barely hear yourself playing.
I was Christmas shopping. We had a break for Christmas that year. And the show had gone on the air in September. We heard that it was doing well, and the records were Clarksville was at #1. And I was out Christmas shopping like I had done every year, before that, my local mall. And I got out of my car with my Christmas list, And I went into the mall, to the big sliding glass doors, and I heard screaming, and everybody started running towards the doors. I thought there was a fire. So I'm standing there at the door going, this way, don't panic, you know, don't run, slow down. And then I realized they were running at me.
It was very exciting, but also it could be very threatening. I remember being trapped in a stairwell trying to get from one floor to another, and the door opened and unnamed numbers of Monkee fans rushed, and I was pinned against this railing, breath knocked out of me, and you know, fearing for my life, not being able to breathe. And I remember being in limousines where the fans were rocking the car, where you didn't know if it was going to tip over. You know, crazy stuff.
They're the people that have sustained the Monkees, and I would hope the Monkees are grateful. I'm sure they are.
I feel exactly the way about it now that I felt about it then, which is to say ambivalent. No, that's a joke.
Wackos, you know, in any sampling of people that you care to meet. But these people are really genuine, and they're passionate, and they're fairly level-headed, and I like them.
If you have passion for something and it doesn't hurt anyone, you can't take it too far because it's who you are, it's your identity. We all have different levels of what we consider fandom or even, you know, fanaticism. And I think if they love it and it hurts no one, let them have fun. This is their weekend.
I think the convention is great. I've been, as you know, I was the original MC of the early conventions from the 80s. So I've had, was able to gauge how all the conventions have been over the years. My favorite one was probably the 86 convention where we had the three, Micky, Davy, and Peter there.
I'm so thrilled that you are here, Bobby.
Thank you, it's nice to be here.
I met you back in 1967 when the Monkees were on their first original tour,
Wow.
Miami Beach.
Yeah.
And you actually took this picture of Davy and me. You were sitting
Whoa.
across the table from us.
Sure.
The photograph here with me with the Monkees in 1989 at the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Peter Tork, Peter and Davy I knew the most. And I was talking to them. He introduced me to Mike Nesmith. And as I was talking, the photographer, Mike Bush, said, Fred, you're in the picture. And I was about to move away, and then Peter grabbed me by the arm, pulled me back and said, Fred, you stay in the picture. And I'll always thank Peter for that great memory.
I have gotten the group photo, which was fantastic, with all three of the guys today.
1, 2, 3.
Fabulous. I designed this costume down to the T of the original. I decided I'd have my picture taken with them, and they were quite amused when I came in dressed like that to get a picture with them.
I think it becomes a bit of a hobby. That is what they do in their, when they're not at work. They have a fascination with something. And it could be a sports team, or it could be a rock and roll band.
This is Mom's Christmas present from 2 years ago. I sent the pictures away and ordered it. It's pictures from all the concerts we've been to, all the trips we've been on. We've been traveling about 13 years now to see the Monkees, every chance we get.
It doesn't even get out into the air very often. I keep it in a case at home.
We've got pictures of her mother, my grandmother. We used to take her with us everywhere we went. She used to go and she loved Davy. So this is my friend Bunny, after she stole a rock from the edge of Davy's property, and she's holding it up to her face and hugging it.
Somehow Micky picked this little guy to sing Daydream Believer in Glenside, PA, a year and a half ago, just about. I didn't think I'd be picked. He usually picked girls, women. When he picked me, I was just in a state of shock. Other than the birth of my daughter, there's thrills in life. This was the biggest. Micky's going to sign a picture today.
I took canvases that I had made with myself and each one individually and had them autographed.
A picture of the four of them. I just had it signed by Michael Nesmith on Friday. He was the last signature that I have. I have all four of their signatures now.
These are my Converse Chuck Taylor All-Stars, and on this side there's a signature of somebody named Peter Tork from the Monkees.
I'm going to get autographs and tattoos of Michael Nesmith and all his kids, and it's just been a dream come true, and it's just unreal.
The whole autograph part of fandom is something I'm not sure I totally understand. I do on a certain level. It's a memento of your connection to that person. You met them and they they used some ink on a piece of paper. So I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to autographs, especially charging for autographs.
I met Peter. He's the only monkey I ever got an autograph from, and I didn't pay for it. He was gracious enough to sign my shoe and my shirt.
I do collect monkey stuff. I collect rare monkey stuff, mostly the audio and the video.
I've purchased lots and lots of things that I probably shouldn't have, but I had to have.
This is the secret handshake button. I don't know if you can see that.
The 8-button bag.
It's the double-breasted Monkees shirt. So if you know what this symbol is, you get the joke. That is the Monkees.
I have 2 T-shirts. I didn't bring them with me this morning. One says, "Love is the ultimate trip," and the back says, "Save the Texas Prairie Chicken." So if you're a Nesmith fan, you know what that means.
So we have this. And don't forget the one on top. That's a fan.
They weren't surprised at all. They're like, well, we knew that was going to happen sooner or later, so I'm surprised you haven't had any kind of plastic surgery to look like Mike Nesmith. So.
I'm such a Monkees fan. I've had their signatures tattooed on my leg.
My sister, she has the Monkees guitar logo on her ankle. She traveled the country as a female wrestler. She's in her 30s now, and she's still sports that tattoo. She has a couple other Monkees tattoos.
I'm getting their tattoos. I'm getting Michael's, Jessica, Jason, Jonathan's, Christian's. I'm just going to have all the Nesmiths and the Nesmiths kids on my arm.
I don't do tattoos, but if they want to do it, that's them. I have nothing against that.
I would give them the same advice I would give anybody who was going to make a tattoo. Don't do it. But I love the fans, of course. But my advice is that you're not going to be the same person in 20 or 30 years. You're not going to be the same person you are today, and even 5 years. So thinking it's the coolest thing in the world you could do to put Michael Nesmith on your wrist, 20 years from now, 30 years when you get some grandkids, may not be so cool on Grandpa.
I would say in 50 years, I will never, ever regret my tattoos, no matter what it is. I will always be true to my heart, and they will always be with me.
I've heard this story in different versions from a lot of different Monkees fans. Most of us, when we first encounter the group, are going through some sort of personal stuff.
I became a Monkees fan in 1986. I was 12 at the time, and we got tickets to see the Monkees. And a couple days later, I became ill and slipped into a coma. I stayed in the hospital for a week or so. I listened to the Monkees music, and it's the only thing that really got me through to help me deal with everything that I had to deal with. Without their music, I really don't think I would have made it through.
In May 2012, I lost one of my very best friends from the Monkees fandom, Melissa Montag. We called her Anissa. She was one of a group of 4 of us. We called ourselves the Frodis Femmes. One of my other friends, Cindy, posted on her on Peter's Facebook page one of my favorite pictures with Anissa and Peter, and let him know that she had passed away. And he wrote back that he was sorry for our loss. Seeing that he posted that he said that was so wonderful. And a couple of months later, we got to go to one of his Shoe Suede Blues concerts. One of his little standard punchlines is he doesn't take requests, and he has all kinds of, big old lines about how he doesn't do requests. He did a request in memory of Anissa. He did Play with Your Poodle, which was her absolute favorite Shoe Suede Blues song. And he didn't have to do that either, and that meant so much to the 3 of us.
Of course, last year's convention in Davy Jones' memory, where we had Davy's daughters, that was a very special moment.
This is the last time we saw Davy in concert. We got our picture taken with him after.
12 days to the day before he passed.
I know he died in Indiantown on his ranch. February 29th is leap year day. It doesn't happen every year. So it was February 29th, 2012 that Davy Jones died.
I was sad to hear that he had passed because I've seen the Monkees as Davy, Peter, and Micky, and now I've seen the Monkees as Micky, Peter, and Mike, and I always wanted to see the 4 of them together, and Davy's passing meant that is never going to happen.
Just thinking about it right now, it's like bringing me to tears. So, because it was very emotional and nobody expected it. He was too young.
His public persona was youth, and so that's how we thought of him, as kind of a guy who was going to live forever. I mean, who would ever think about Davy not being on the planet?
We were both at work about 20 minutes apart, and we thought it was a hoax. We didn't think it was real because we had just been with him, you know, and he was fine. He didn't seem sick or anything.
I got about 20 text messages about within 15 minutes after everybody heard about his death, from people that knew I was a huge fan. 20 text messages. You would have thought it was my father died.
It was like losing a family member, really. We'd seen him so many times and talked to him, and it was very hard.
He has 4 beautiful daughters that were here last year, and I got to meet all of them. And it was a wonderful convention last year, so they did it again this year for the fans.
Davy Jones invited me to come to his house to work on his book, the Mutant Monkees book. So that's a great memory there too. And when he opened up his box of his trunk of memorabilia just to go over stuff for the book, I felt like I died and went to monkey heaven.
When I interviewed him the first time, and he said, when I open the refrigerator, the light goes on and I do 10 minutes. And the guy was born to perform.
Davy Jones used to like jump into the audience and dance with people.
We were lucky enough that we were right against the stage through the whole concert. He'd come over and talk to us a couple times while he was singing.
Grabbed our hands when he ran by.
Yeah.
Davy Jones to me was like the cheerleader of the Monkees. He was the one most of the fans like really related to. He was like the, you know, he was the one that the girls loved. I mean, I loved his music. I loved his soul. I think he was the soul of the Monkees by far. And he always loved and respected his fans.
Davy in particular was always like gave 200% to the fans.
Some girl boxed herself up in a shipping crate and sent herself to Davy Jones. I think she survived. That was I don't think it was that bad.
It shows the true passion of the band to get together and still perform, and they pay so much tribute and honor and respect to him. That shows that it's not just a band, it truly is a family, and that's another big reason why I respect and love the Monkees the way I do.
The fans are the primary mover of why it's lasted this long, partially because I think the Monkees were underdogs in a popularity sense.
The Beatles were always, I thought, were like on Mount Olympus. You really couldn't reach them, you couldn't touch them. The Monkees, they sang, "We may be coming to your town, here we come." They were very accessible.
They've always been pretty generous with the fans and very personable. I've always enjoyed the times I have met them.
The fans were great because, especially when you're on stage, there would just be waves of energy, which was love, basically.
On the whole, I think the Monkees have always appreciated their fans.
And it hasn't changed much over the years. You know, there's always been a really solid, enthusiastic, loyal fan base.
It's ageless, so it doesn't have anything to do with it. I don't care about how old somebody is. I mean, look, if you're 306, you should probably go, you know, explain to me how you did that. And if you're if you're 4, then, you know, come sit on my lap, we'll talk, we'll do what it is. But anything in between is just all, you know, sweetness and light in my estimation.
I think that I, in a weird way, have become a better writer and a better thinker because of my time in the Monkees fandom and in the Nez fandom.
At this time, we would like to induct the Monkees into America's Pop Music Hall of Fame.
Mine says Peter Moon. Mine says Mickey Nesbitt.
We also want you to know we do have one for Davy Jones, and we'll be sending him to his family.
Yeah.
I don't like the Monkees. I love the Monkees.
All I can feel, even after all of these years and all this time, is gratitude to all 3 of them.
I can't express enough how much they mean to me and will always mean something to me. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys and you're the best.
The great thing about the Monkees is defending them, because everybody eventually caves in it and admits they like the Monkees.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
The main thing I remember were the queues, actually, queuing to get signatures. But I did, it was worth it. I queued up for quite a while to get Mike and Micky and Peter to sign my tour poster. I was absolutely thrilled because Peter remembered my name from a previous time I'd met him, and he signed it saying "To Katie, Peter Talk." And then I had a photograph taken with all three of them. One of my friends had taken some maracas along, so I was there channeling Davy in the picture with the maracas. One of the highlights of the convention was when Micky and Coco sang together.
Hello, test, test.
I'm always on this
Can you
side.
hear
Can I
yourself?
hear? Can I hear myself? Sure.
Pack up all my cares and woes, here I go, singing low. Bye, bye, blackbird. Where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. Bye, bye, blackbird. No one there to love or understand me. Oh, what hard luck stories they all hand me. Make my bed like a light, I'll arrive late tonight. Blackbird, back up on my castle, was here, I go singing low. Bye, bye, blackbird. Like somebody waits on me, sugar sweet, so is she. Bye, bye, blackbird. I know one there to love or understand me. Oh, what all like stories they all hand me. Make my bed like the light, I'll arrive a little late tonight. Blackbird.